And it is 2 minutes after 4 o'clock. You are tuned to the 4 p.m. 111 or 411 rather, on WLCN 96.3 FM. I'm Lloyd Kirby, Marketing Manager, and if you are tuning in to hear about the Oasis Senior Center and some of the activities and programs going on there, you will be somewhat disappointed in that those folks from the Oasis had a scheduling conflict and were unable to be with us. However, as fate would have it, we were lucky to find two people who were on our radar to be here on the show, and we just bumped them up. Well, actually, I hadn't talked to you yet, so I guess we really didn't have anything set up. But in our studio today, we have Christina Vannoy and Julianna Nordman. They are with the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. So, ladies, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Sure thing. So, we'll just get right into it now. And if anyone out there has questions or comments, 217-648-5510 is the number to call. You can also shoot us an email at 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. So when I think of a library, I mean, at least back in my days, which is long before your days of when I was in junior high, you go in, lots of books, you check out newspapers, magazines, periodicals, but just looking at your website and looking at your social media, you folks have a whole bunch more going on than that. Can you kind of tell us about what you do in addition to the sort of traditional stereotypical library stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say actually like the book part is probably the least activity that we get out of from our patrons. Like we do get a lot of people that come in and check out books, but we got tons of movies now. We got that too, but also all of our programs that we do. So these next 2 months, the rest of this month and August are jam-packed full programs.
Right, and of course you've got, as I mentioned, you've got the website. You're also very active and good about posting events on social media. Is it primarily Facebook, or do you utilize other ones as well?
Yeah, we've got Facebook. We're trying to be more active on Instagram, but we're a staff of 3, so it gets hard to keep up.
Sure, absolutely. I totally relate to that. So, and what is the library, the library website address?
AtlantaPLD.org.
AtlantaPLD.org. So you can go there and check out information about the programming. And as I mentioned, Facebook allows you to create events and publicize events. So folks who may not be aware of what you offer can go there and see pictures from past events. I saw you had some four-legged friends at a recent event.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of guess that's probably one of your favorite events, judging how you gravitated toward Mabel the cat as you came into the studio.
Yes. Both of us just sat down and we just sat there and the goats sat on top of us. Actually, Christina got peed on by a goat.
Got peed on by the baby goat.
Baby princess.
You can say that on the radio.
Oh, no. Yikes. Oh, well, cut that out.
Well,
Censor it.
We'll edit that out later. No problem. So we talked about programming and services, and you mentioned how the books maybe is certainly not the most popular thing that you offer that patrons utilize. If patrons do come in and they are looking for particular resources, whether it's a book or some type of periodical, if you don't have it in the library, do you have ways that they can obtain those things?
Yeah, so we're a part of a system called Rails. We can borrow from various different libraries if there's an item that we don't have. We can borrow from like Quincy Public Library, all of the Peoria branches, so we can go pretty far.
Morton, and we go to Normal.
There's probably 100, maybe more.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not just limited to what you have physically there in the place. So I mentioned, let me make sure I get it straight. Christina is the administrative director. What does an administrative director at a library do?
So it's essentially the library director. I just don't have the degree. I pay the bills, I do the ordinances, I make sure all the board stuff is ready to go. I order the books. I do a little bit of everything.
What does that involve, ordering books? Like, do you get emails or mailings of, hey, we're publishing this book, you need to order it for your library?
Yeah,
or how does that work?
I try to keep an eye on like what's popular, and we know what authors the patrons are interested in. So there's a lot of that, and so we can get like large print books from a specific publisher, and we use that, and that's more of our popular, like James Patterson, all those types. That'll just automatically come once a new book is published.
Okay.
But
Okay. And what does a programs director do at a library?
Well, according to Christina, I'm the one that gets to do all the fun stuff. But I just want to say one thing before I talk about my job. The library would not run if Christina was not there. Like, she's like, oh, I have to do all the boring stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but my job doesn't exist without yours. So, so programs directing, I do all of our programs, so all of the ones we got coming up. So we actually have one tomorrow that we have. So I do all of that. If any of the grants that we have to apply for, usually they're all me. We have all kinds of stuff like that. So crafts for kids, Halloween is largely me. Christina helps out with that just because we love Halloween, we love scary stuff, we love cemeteries. So we do all of that kind of together. But so yeah, she helps me out with everything. But we kind of help each other out with our jobs. We are co-directors, so we are seen as equals. We get paid the same and everything like that. So her job is probably more important than mine, but it can be. Do you disagree with that?
I don't know. I think not as many people would come in nowadays if we didn't have, a good program director.
Yeah. But, she's the one that knows all the authors, all the books. Usually people are like, oh, I want to read something like this book. And I'm like, you came in the wrong time. I am, that is not me. Like, I'm a mystery, maybe this person. Or, hey, Christina, I know you're not working, but can you talk to this person and tell them what they would like to read?
Sure.
So.
And I think that's true of any sort of a smaller operation where you have a smaller staff, because I know we have 2 full-time people here, and I do marketing, and Jim is the general manager who pays the bills and has been around for since before the station's been on the air. So yeah, there's a lot of that, I think, crossover, and your title may be one thing, but you definitely are active in other areas, and other activities as well.
So like my title that our bosses gave me when we got promotions in September was programs director, but I also do everything at our museum too. So that doesn't really fall into that, but that's what I do. So.
Okay, well, that's why they pay you the big bucks.
Yeah,
so,
well, not that big. But hey, we love our jobs. That's why we're here.
Exactly. You wouldn't be there if you didn't love it. So we're talking with Christina Vannoy and Julianna Nordman with the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. And you just mentioned the museum part.
Yes.
Some folks may not be aware there is a museum that is sort of under your umbrella or jurisdiction or whatever you'd like to call it. Can you kind of tell us about what's there and what folks can see?
So don't ask me too many questions or we could be here for a couple hours.
It's only a half-hour show. So.
Yeah, too bad. But so Atlanta was founded in 1853. So our city is pretty old. We got lots of all kinds of things. We've got Lincoln came through town, so we have a Lincoln exhibit. The Atlanta School was super important to the town. It was the center of the town. That was super important. Our library is important. It's actually not at the museum, but that's because it's still running. All kinds of fun stuff. I'm hoping to get a new railroad exhibit up soon. There's a place called Gold Springs that's in Eminence Township that I'm hoping to do an exhibit on, which Christina's family owns that, so that'll be super fun. It'll be, we got all kinds of new stuff. We're hoping to get regular exhibit changes, so kind of rotating exhibits, but it hasn't just quite happened just because we were kind of thrown into this job a little bit unexpectedly, so there was a lot of things that we had to do first, and it's taken me a lot longer to get everything done at the museum while doing all the programs, but we're working on it. Hopefully by next year it should all be good and new exhibits and
running smoothly.
Yeah.
And is the museum part, is that actually in the library facility, or is it in
Not
another
anymore.
area? Okay.
It used to be housed in the basement of the library, but now it's diagonally from the
diagonally
library?
kitty corner, is that what that's called?
Catty Corner.
whatever. It depends on where you're from. Where I'm from, it's Kitty, but here apparently it's Catty. But like what? It was 1979 when our museum was 70s, 78, 79, something like that, and then 2008, 2009, it was moved over to where our museum is, so it's right next to the Palms, right
Okay.
on. So it's just kind of diagonal across from it. So
Okay. We did just have a caller. She didn't want to come on the air, but she did want to ask, what are the hours of the facilities there?
So the library is open Monday through Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, we're open from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then Saturday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then the museum is open Monday to Saturday. You have a little bit easier hours, just because our museum is actually more employed by our volunteers. So it's not us or Christina working every single day.
Right.
So we are open Monday to Saturday from 11 to 3.
Okay, so we are talking with Christina Vannoy, the Administrative Director, and Julianna Nordman, the Programs Director of the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. We need to take our first break, if I can master the controls here. So after that, feel free to give us a call. 217-648-5510 is the number to call, or you can send us an email at 4pm411@wlcnonline.com. We will be right back with Christina and Julianna from the Atlanta Public Library and Museum right after this. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411. I'm Lloyd Kirby, the Marketing Manager at WLCN. I'm joined by Christina Vannoy, the Administrative Director, and Julianna Nordman, the Programs Director there with the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. We've talked a little bit about some of the offerings the library and the museum have. If you would like to join the conversation, have a question or comment, 217-648-5510 is the number to call. Once again, for those who may be tuning in late, we were scheduled to have folks from the Oasis Senior Center with us today. Unfortunately, they had a scheduling conflict and could not make it, but Julianna and Christina were kind enough to fill in on short notice. Also, be sure to tune in next week when we will have Dave Irwin with the Logan County Fair. He'll be talking about some of the events and the programs and things going on with the fair this year, as it's right around the corner at the end of the month. But back to our current guests, Julianna and Christina. We talked about the facilities and things there at the library. Maybe we should take a step back a bit. Who can utilize the library, or who is it open to?
So it's actually open to everyone. We offer the internet access, Wi-Fi that's accessible through not even entering into the building if you don't want to. Library cards, typically if you live within the Atlanta area, if you pay property taxes, that money goes to the library. You can get a library card. If you don't live within the district, we do have a fee of $50, and that's good for 1 year.
Okay.
But really, anyone can use it.
Okay.
Yeah, because also, like, even if you have, like, a different library card,
Yeah,
that's
like-
still in our systems.
Oh, uh-huh.
You can still, like, people, if you live in Normal and you have a Normal public library card, you can come to us and use it. Same with even if you live in Lincoln, we can get you set up with another barcode, and you can use our library too.
Oh, okay.
Because Lincoln isn't in our interlibrary loan.
Mm-hmm.
But like we get actually a lot of people from McLean, people that live in McLean. It's really weird because part of the actually Atlanta addresses are technically in McLean's district and not ours, but we're closer to them. It's so weird.
Yeah, there's a little map, and it's trying to figure out specifically where people fit in.
Yeah.
Right, where
So-
they live within or without, or
Mhm.
outside the district and so
Yeah.
forth. So we've talked about the facilities. We've also said you got tons of programming, so let's get to it. What's coming up on
Yeah.
your programming side? events?
So we got a lot of super exciting stuff. I got to make sure I don't get ahead of myself. You got to check me on that because there's one we're both really excited for. So starting next Monday, we will be having a crafting circle. So if you craft and do anything like that, come to the library, just kind of hang out. We got coffee, we got tea, we got ourselves, and
And we're a delight, clearly.
yeah, obviously
Absolutely.
we're on the radio. We have to be a delight.
You're certainly the best guests I've had here today, so
Oh wow. Don't you feel honored? We're above the cat.
you're welcome.
So tomorrow we actually have the Logan County Genealogical Society coming. So that's a free program. It's at 6:30. We try to make all of our programs free. We were very lucky to get a grant earlier this year for 10 grand. So we've
Oh,
been
wow.
able to get a lot of our programs for free. We personally believe that anybody that lives in Atlanta or that wants to come to them should have access. We shouldn't be, discriminating or limiting anyone like that, especially the kids. So
Yeah.
and we will never charge for a kid's craft. Also, this coming weekend is Christmas in July, so
I
that's
saw that.
happening in Atlanta. So we aren't really the front runner for that one. We're just kind of in the background, which honestly, that's okay with us. We're tired of being in the front all the time. But the library is offering lawn games all day. So me and one of our patrons, I think she's actually probably listening to this, but her and I finished our giant Jenga blocks today.
Oh,
We got like yard pong
Yeah, we've
and
got Yarn Pong. The one I'm most excited for
Yeah.
is Human Battleship.
with water balloons.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So
That'll
that'll
be
be
That sounds
fun.
interesting.
yeah.
What?
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Can slam is what they call it. You try to get a frisbee into the can from far away. Yeah, it's like a little slot. It's almost like a mailbox slot, and you have to
Oh.
fit the frisbee in there.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a challenge. But we got bowling,
Bowling,
limbo, all kinds of fun stuff. So it'll be
Yeah.
great. And then of course the kids will want to come to that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so we got stuff for adults too. Well, we don't, but the city does. So there will be a market going on. There will be a cheese truck, which I'm also super excited for because who doesn't love a good cheese?
Exactly.
Sunday there'll be free face painting at the War Food Farm booth inside the market, or maybe she's outside.
I think she's
I
outside.
think she's outside, but she'll be doing free face painting on behalf of the library.
Top Hat Creamery will be
Right,
there
the traveling
too.
Top hat. I
So
can hear
that'll be
that.
fun.
She's gonna have to pull me away from there.
Yeah, honestly. Well, if you buy it for me, then I might just push you there.
No.
Okay, never mind. So that'll be super fun. We're very much looking forward to it.
Before you move to the next event, does that happen a lot as far as like the Tourism Bureau will have something and the library will kind of maybe not be the official sponsor or whatever, but you'll
We-
have activities that kind of help enhance the
yeah,
experience?
we try to.
We believe that if you can get kids to come to an event, adults will come too. And we are great at getting kids to events. Not so much adults. We're still working on figuring that out. It's a process. But kids we can get to stay. We've got about probably 7 or 8 families that regularly come to our stuff.
Okay.
So if we can bring the kids there and the kids are excited about something, then the adults will follow.
Yeah.
So, and the adults are kind of what the city and the tourism is looking for.
Mhm.
So it kind of, we help each other out and everything like that. So like we had a haunted museum that
Right, I
was
remember
by
that.
us. Yeah, because you and I had talked about that
Mhm.
last year, which we're getting up on researching for that too. Super excited. And so we had tons of kids come to that.
Oh,
And
very
then
cool.
with that came tons of adults, and they're like, we didn't even know you had a museum. Wait, this museum is owned by the library. So oh, the cat wants a feature.
Yeah.
But so we're super excited and all that. Then the next one we have is every Monday in August. We have these cooking classes that are super fun. So they're going to be based on cultural food. So you should definitely come to the first one, right, Christina?
Sure.
I'm cooking the first one. I'm cooking.
Okay.
Equipment we got was from that grant. So we don't want to charge for them just quite yet until we're paying a little bit more money for some of the chefs that we have coming in. But each class will be taught by somebody different. Hopefully, the last one we're still kind of looking for someone.
Okay.
But that's coming up. Then we got August 20th is Janet Glaser. So she is originally an Atlanta native. She
She's a former Querum. Her parents were Gordon and Dorothy Querum that owned the Querum Funeral Home.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had an exhibit actually on their funeral home last year.
Yeah.
But she's awesome. She's going to talk to everyone about storytelling and everything like that. So it's going to be kind of almost an interactive one where she wants to listen to your ideas and give you kind of tips on how to make that a story. And then the last one that we're most excited for. So Christina and I are obsessed with cemeteries. I know that makes us creepy, but our goal is to eventually go to at least all the ones in Logan County. And we recently on accident kind of went out of Logan. But Christina looks at me one day and goes, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this person that on TikTok we both follow comes to the library? Like,
Just an idea.
I saw that.
No chance that we thought that it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
no way. 2.5 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
Response to my email. I sent an email. I was like, hey, would this be something she's interested in? We'll pay her for her time. We'll buy her flights. We'll buy her hotel. Like,
Didn't tell me that she was sending the email.
because Christina would have gotten her hopes up
Right.
and then, let down if something didn't happen. So I'd rather just keep that between me and me be sad.
Mm-hmm.
But so then she was like, what are you expecting of her? And we're like, excuse me? This is an option? So we actually worked it out. And she is coming to Atlanta.
All right. And what is her name again?
Her name's Caitlin Abrams.
Okay.
She
goes
by Manic Pixie Mom on TikTok.
Okay. And what is it she does?
So she cleans gravestones, and she does all of the genealogy research behind it of telling the story of these families. These families have no connection to her. So it's not like she's just cleaning her families and stuff like that. She's doing the service of other people. And I think that's probably Christina and I's biggest issue is we go to all these cemeteries and we see,
Not taken care of. They're in
Right.
extreme disrepair.
Mm-hmm.
We went to one the other day that questionably I probably shouldn't have went in. She stood back and was like, are you stupid? Are you crazy? But it was thigh-high weeds
Oh.
throughout the entire thing, overgrown trees, and it used to be no trees in it.
Can't see the headstones. None of them are
Oh,
visible.
wow.
Then there's one in Logan County also that's called Pool Hill. It's actually in New Holland. It's in Sheridan Township, but it is on the top of a hill, and we climbed the hill, not realizing that there was an actual entrance to it. But then we found the entrance as we were in there. But that one makes us particularly sad because it is beautiful, surrounded by woods.
Mm-hmm.
But there's what?
Four headstones that we found, and only
Oh,
3
wow.
of them were somewhat readable.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I know, because you'd think that when you die, obviously you would think that someone would protect and clean your gravestone. So
Right.
it was just kind of a passion of ours, and that's why we followed her, because we liked her content, and Had no expectation of her saying yes.
And where is she located?
She's actually out of Vermont.
Oh, okay.
So we're flying her all the way from Albany, New York, and
Mm-hmm.
she's staying a few days. She's staying in Atlanta.
Okay.
So we're really excited for her.
All right. And what's the date of that again?
So
you
that
said?
is August 27th.
At 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
in the Union Hall building. It's 114 Southwest
Yes.
Arch Street. We are asking that people register for tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are free, but we're hoping to get a lot of people, so
Sure.
we want to keep track.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to take our final break here. We're talking again with Christina Vannoy, Julianna Nordman from the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. We will be back with them right after this. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411. This half hour just flew by. You weren't lying when you said you could talk.
Yeah. No, not lying at all.
So our guests today have been Christina Vannoy, the Administrative Director, and Julianne Nordman, the Programs Director of the Atlanta Public Library and Museum in Atlanta, Illinois. Once again, put out what was the website address?
Website is atlantapld.org.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook under Atlanta Public Library and Museum. Instagram, I think is Atlanta Library and Museum.
Yeah.
You can tell we don't use that as much.
Yeah. Part of the Instagram thing is because we get tagged in posts that are clearly for Atlanta, Georgia. And it baffles me because people are like, we're standing outside the Atlanta Library, and then tag us. I'm like, did you not look at the account? How does this building of our building look like the Atlanta, Georgia Library?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I can vouch for that as far as social media. If you send them a message, they will respond quite quickly usually.
Yeah,
Seems to be my
we
experience.
both have access to the account on our phones, and we do nothing else when we get home.
Correct. We have no boundaries. So we have our emails on our phone. If you email us, we probably see it right away. If you message us on Facebook, you message us on Instagram, we will see it pretty soon after. As soon as you message us on Facebook last night, I
She
saw
called
it
me.
and I said, hey, I called Christina. I was in the middle of Aldi. Called Christina. I was like, hey, did you see his message? He sounds desperate. Like we should tell him right now that we can come and fill in for him. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I didn't realize I sounded desperate.
Well,
but,
not
I
desperate,
was-
I
but
wouldn't say desperate.
I was kind of in dire straits since it was less than 24 hours away, but definitely appreciate you being here. Kind of wrap things up here. We were talking a little bit off air. You've mentioned how you've gotten some grants and some funding for some different programs. What if someone handed you a blank check or there was like an endowment or someone willed their estate to the library and you could improve or add or do whatever you wanted to enhance the offerings there at the library? What would kind of be your top priority or maybe couple priorities?
I mean, I wish physically there were like more shelving space would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Put too much shelving in there, you can't walk through it.
You can hang it from the ceiling.
There's an idea. A rotating shelf that's suspended from the ceiling.
There you go.
But
Have
yeah,
a pulley system. You
I
gotta
would
pull.
just like-
Gotta pull the A's from the ceiling.
I would just like more shelving space.
More furniture for downstairs and
Yeah, more kid-friendly furniture for the downstairs.
I know what mine would be.
New elevator.
Fix the roof
Oh,
at
yeah.
the museum. We have got leaks all the time. It's a good roof, but the building is the oldest building in town. Built in 1867, I believe.
Okay.
And so there's leaks. It's an old building. Some of it, just kind of fixing up some of that stuff. Oh, I also know what I would more shelving for the museum archives, museum collections, blackout windows for the museum collections. We got windows in there right now, and it's fading a bunch of our stuff.
That's not good.
Right, yeah. I mean, we've got shades in there, but it's still not keeping all of the light out. Oh, I know what I would get for you, an office,
Yeah,
because you don't really have an office right now.
yeah. I mean, again, space.
Yeah, it's hard because you can't really add on to the library specifically. It is
'Cause-
listed on the historic
Yeah, that's
register.
what I was going to ask, if it was a national.
So
register.
is the museum, and so is the Palms Grill, which is next to us, currently functioning as a bakery. Definitely check her out this weekend. She's got a part of the proceeds of her sales are actually going to go to the Christmas committee, so that
okay.
they can do that. But great stuff. We spend way too much money in there. Brownies, pie.
Ice cream
Ice
now.
cream, yeah. The Texas sheet cake you said was really
Yeah,
good. The
really
muffins are good, or not muffins. Cupcakes. Wow. The unhealthy
difference.
muffins.
Jim Gaffigan says, what is it? A muffin is a bald cupcake. So,
That's true. That's true.
so
Yeah.
okay. Well, our guests have been once again Christina Vannoy, Julianna Nordman. Thank you again for joining us, especially on such short notice. We will have you back in the future. And as they mentioned, they've got tons of programming coming up. Check out their website, check out their Facebook page, and you can see pictures of past programs and listings of things to come.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
Come to our programs.
Yeah.
All
come,
right.
Also come to our crafting circle.
That's true. That's
That's
true.
right.
Come to the crafting circle. You just get to crochet with us the whole time, or knit, or whatever.
Or scrapbook, whatever you do.
Any kind of textile arts?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
the
and not
go-to
even
person.
nice to have to be textile.
If it's portable,
Someone makes T-shirts. Was like, hey, can I like? Yeah, I don't think you have enough space. And we're like,
Like,
we'll
we'll
make
make
space. See, we hang out too much.
All right, very good. So once again, thank you for joining us. This has been 4 p.m. 411. We will be back next week. Dave Irwin will be our guest from the Logan County Fair. And thank you for tuning in. We will talk to you next week. preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.